Live right now?
Yes.
Oh, finally! Oh my god, hello everyone! My name is AlphaDolphin. I play this game, I think, and I am joined with some amazing people in the background. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm David.
I'm Labrys.
I'm Brandino, and then with me is Shadow.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Shadow's hanging out. Yeah,
He's right there.
our
He's
boy.
right there for the run.
The most important member of our couch right here today.
he's right there. He's right.
It was
right
a
there.
long flight for Shadow, but he made it.
Yeah, he was in a backpack that was a little bit, full, so he might be missing a couple brain cells, but he's okay. I'm sure he's fine. But yeah, wait, so we had
Lock in
incentives.
the
right?
the language.
Yeah, we had incentives. What is that saying?
Well,
It is saying German.
German.
Ooh, there it is.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, it's saving. Good.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I think it's about time to get started.
I'm ready when you're ready.
You guys are ready too? Nice.
Do you want to have the
Nice.
crowd give us a countdown from 5?
Of course. You guys are ready for the countdown?
Yeah.
All right. Bear with me here. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
It is gamer time.
Gaming time. Finally. All right. So this is Arc 1, one of the hardest stages. This game is very difficult, so I'm probably going to lock in a lot of the times here.
Yeah. First thing you're going to see from this run is he's throwing spears constantly. Shadow's really mad, and he likes to throw spears because when you're in the air, you lose speed pretty quickly normally, but as you're throwing spears, you'll maintain your horizontal momentum pretty much completely. So we'll pretty much be using those every time, and it allows us to clear gaps way bigger than we are normally able to. What Dolphin's doing right now is, so this pipe, basically pipes have different physics, and you can activate the trigger to start pipe physics from the outside on this one, and it allows us to do a ton of skips. So we jump higher and basically have lower gravity. We can only move forward, so our control's pretty limited here, so we have to be careful with like how we get around. So for example, we're going to homing attack to this capsule over here, because we can't just walk over there, because we can't change direction. And yeah, so there's all sorts of skips we're doing. Coming up next, there's a... normally this is an automated sequence where you have to dodge this giant missile that gets launched at you, but we're just going to skip that. And
Yeah, we don't even
Flies to the
get to
board.
see the cannon come out. We're like that fast.
This is awesome.
I've never heard the German dub of Sonic before.
yeah, I haven't either.
Me neither. That's awesome.
So he hit the checkpoint there and took a quick death, which resets his physics back to normal, because there's no way to drop the pipe physics on command. Normally they disappear when you leave the pipe, but since he wasn't in the pipe to begin with, there wasn't any for that. So moving on, we're actually going to be making our first encounter with the villain here, Black Doom.
So, worth mentioning, so the basic gimmick of Shadow Generations comes from Sonic Generations. Shadow's reliving his very traumatic past. And unfortunately for Shadow, he doesn't get all the fun levels that Sonic does. He has to go to Radical Highway a lot.
Yeah, Black Doom says you're going to Radical Highway.
He's always trying to make it about Radical Highway.
Listen, man, it's all about Radical Highway.
Just a funny story thing to mention is that, so the gimmick of Sonic Generations is, yes, that you're reliving past levels and beating them in a modern way. But it's kind of funny, the first level doesn't start in the Sonic Generations thing. Shadow's just on the arc because he feels like it. And then he actually gets into the Generations part of it after Arc 1. After Black Doom shows up in the Time Eater, which is part of the Sonic Generations. So this game was bundled with a remake of Sonic Generations, as we all know, Sonic X Shadow Generations, and it is, honestly, I think a lot of people really loved this game. This is one of the biggest releases Sonic's had in a long time, and it's been really fun to see people enjoying it so much.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
not a Sonic guy, and I was not expecting to play the game at all. But I was watching it being run the first week, and I was like, wow, that game looks a lot of fun. So I bought it and played it and really liked it. And now
It is not party time.
Not party time, unfortunately. There's a thing you can do here. It's very finicky. If you jump while Shadow is on the ground, you can actually perform a jump and then spear and then boost, and you can skip the entire sliding section there. It's super fast, but it's really, really hard.
A little bit of combat here, so there is some combat in this game we're going to have to worry about. Nothing like Sonic Frontiers level, though, but we do need this little item that Black Doom drops. We need 3 of those throughout the run in order to progress.
You can see Shadow, something a little bit different than Sonic. For homing attacks onto enemies, he teleports to them. teleports behind them, of course, and destroys them. So
Teleports behind you.
Yeah, great callback to 06 with the Chaos Snap.
nothing personal.
Dude, I'm so happy we got the whole skip for Arc.
Yeah, that was
I
huge.
was so stressed
Yeah.
out about it.
Yeah,
It's so
no,
hard.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, we didn't even. I mean, I explained it, but like we weren't dwelling on it that much. That skip is very difficult. It's a huge reset point.
And here we are. This is white space. So this is the Sonic Generations portion coming in. So this is a big open world that contains all of the levels that we want to go into, plus extra challenges. And now we're going to use that to go into Arc 2, our first 2D section of the game. And this game actually has excellent 2D, some of the best in the series, in my opinion. It's a lot of fun to play these levels, especially for the first time. I was amazed at how fast and fun they were.
Yeah, they honestly didn't really even feel like 2D levels to me. Like obviously they are, but the whole level is built in 3D, and like there's times where you're changing directions and stuff.
And we didn't talk about it before, but here we are using Chaos Control to freeze things. That's going to be important because that also will spawn these little rails or trails that we can use to warp around the level. You'll see that happening here at one point. But Chaos Control is very important to the run in order to both like make cycles into what we want them and to do things like this.
It also completely refills your boost gauge, so you can be more aggressive as long as you have Chaos Control.
So boost management is a pretty important part. Basically, as you collect rings, it restores some boost. And so some places it's easier to manage than others. Some places like you have to be careful about how much you're boosting. Sometimes there's plenty of boost, but like this is one case where boost is running a little low here, but we get enough. Actually, we don't. Normally you get enough Chaos Control meter from killing those enemies to refill your boost. But he was a little bit short. But he got some here instead, so he'll get it.
Okay, I'll try to do a jump here. Okay.
Okay, you made that.
We're good. I was a little bit sketchy, but we're fine.
Speaking of jumps, so this jump up to this upper one, you're supposed to pause time and get on the missiles to skip, but you can barely make it with some well-timed jumps and spears. Here, we get afflicted with a power-up that we don't actually get again until the end of the game. We basically only get it for the rest of this level. It's Doom Wings, which is essentially kind of like the equivalent of Supersonic. It lets Shadow fly, he's immune to damage. When he's on the ground, his boost regens, and his rings slowly drain, and then when he runs out, it resets.
It's worth noting that we do not actually technically are not allowed to use this ability until later in the game, but for whatever reason, they've added it right here just to use once. But we won't get this ability again until literally right before the game ends. So this is just kind of like a teaser, I guess, as to what the game contains more than anything. And Alpha's going to be gaining a lot of height here by spamming Chaos Spears and boosts repeatedly.
Yeah, so that's some tech we'll see at the end. Call it like wing tech. But yeah, again, we won't really see it until the end of the marathon again. But yeah, so that was Arc, getting out of there. And we're going to see some movement in white space. White space physics are a little bit different. Generally, you don't move as fast. But there's some movement that we don't do as much. So you can sidestep in this game. You kind of like slide sideways. And that's more useful in white space. But first, we also have to unlock a power here. So
yeah, there are these little towers that give Shadow new abilities. This one is allowing him to like do a multi-attack on his Chaos Spear. I forget what it's. I think is it called Doom Blast?
Chaos Spears.
This is just Doom Spear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doom Lancer, whatever.
They're all called Doom something.
Yeah. And that needs to be done to open the door. Basically, you have to hit all 5 of the buttons at once.
Now we got some Sonic Heroes representation.
Any Sonic Heroes fans in here?
Couldn't be me.
I want to say that this is a great remake in terms of like accurately recreating how much I don't like this level.
I was gonna say it's a great remake in that it makes it better than the original. Oh no, there's
Hitting the wall.
Nice corner cut here. Skip the ring or the rail going all the way around. The spearing makes a huge difference. I mean, like he's obviously been doing it every time he jumps, but like you couldn't get anywhere close here without spears.
Another thing worth noting about spear gliding is that once Alpha boosts in the air and starts spearing, he's locked in an angle. So spear gliding is very committal, and you have to be very precise in order to get to where you want to go in a very premeditated fashion.
Yeah, you can change your directions once. When you use your air boost, it'll redirect you to wherever your joystick is pointed. But
yeah, so this game is working out of the Hedgehog Engine 2, kind of a revamped version from Sonic Frontiers. One big thing that Frontiers had that carries over to this game is that you keep your actions when you go off of like a cliff without using them. And what I mean by that is if Alpha runs off a ledge while boosting, he still has double jump and a reboost available to him in the air, which does a lot to keep him spear gliding through like really long distances. So we're going to be kind of abusing that mechanic of storing our actions off of like a cliff or something in order to go very far with Chaos Sphere. And we were enjoying the level, but now it's time for Radical Highway.
Yeah, I was about to say, why are rails moving?
Oh, it's this guy again.
You're going to Radical Highway.
Yeah, Radical Highway again.
This guy. But
Somehow.
it's daytime, I guess.
So
There you skipped one of the Beetles just for the sake of speed.
Radical Highway does actually appear previously in Sonic Generations, but only in the 3DS version, and it was kind of a very different incarnation there. It was mostly served as a remake of the original SA2 level. Here, every time Radical Highway appears, it's very different from its original incarnation.
Oh yeah, so he's supposed to be doing this big dive section where basically it's essentially an auto-scroller. You just kind of fall and avoid some platforms, but if you do a setup before the dive and then you jump at the right time, you can basically skip the whole thing and just kind of boost down instead.
Doing pretty good so far, honestly.
Yeah, this run's going great so far. The second dive you can't skip, and it's actually a collectible for hitting Black Doom at the bottom, so you kind of need to do this one. There's a way to skip most of this Radical Highway section, but you don't get the collectible, so it's not viable for 80% right now.
Yeah, shout out to Cryptic Jackknife, one of the goats of Sonic glitch hunting, and just in general. He found 1,000,001 things for this game within like 5 minutes of release.
He's probably been responsible for like over 20 minutes of
if you've been on a social media site and seen a viral clip of somebody breaking this game, there are a huge chance it was from Cryptic Jackknife.
Probably.
Yeah. So here there's a... Oh, you didn't quite get it.
It's okay.
Oh my God!
Okay. Not even close.
Not even close.
Jump scare.
Yeah, so he was going for like a rail jump there. Again, talking about like when if you're boosting and you catch air or like you do an action, you'll maintain the boost. So as you're pointed upwards on the rail, you can jump and basically the boost will carry you up. You can get a lot of height, so you can skip some springs that he ended up hitting. But he didn't quite get enough height, so he had to back it up and managed to make it work. Here we're just dodging these. By changing rails constantly, he picks up a little bit more speed. Are you gonna go for this?
Yeah,
Oh,
of
he
course.
is. Okay, so this saves like 5 seconds. Basically, the rail goes up and all the way around. But
Nice.
He's too good, man. He's too good.
that jump is very difficult. You have to time a rail switch to dodge the trick ring,
Yeah.
which then puts you into automation. But also, you need to be going pretty good speed to actually have enough speed to clear the gap. So, he made it work. That was very impressive.
Is this an okay to cut in real quick?
Yeah,
Of course.
Perfect.
Go for it.
So I have a really important announcement. We have about 20 minutes left on a very important poll on Twitter, which is who should Shadow go on a date with? And LLK is going to draw the winner. And the options are Gordon Ramsay, Gunn, Vegeta, or Robin. So get to Twitter and get those donation or those click the
My
poll.
vote's for Vegeta.
in now.
for
My
sure.
vote's for Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, second red.
Wait, are we talking the runner or the chef? Or both?
Good
Double
question.
date, double Gordon.
Oh,
Maybe it's a
okay.
double date.
Definitely get in there. Anyway, so coming up here, there's going to be a pretty huge skip where you see that the 2D levels aren't exactly 3D. Coming up in, I don't know, probably about...
You mean to tell me this isn't true 2D?
Never was.
Unfortunate.
What?
Frontiers has this weird restricted 3D as it's 2D. You'll see that here.
So basically, he's going to hit this automation trigger when we're not on the rail like we're supposed to be. And
I mean, we're having fun here. He's just tweaking midair. And hello, Shadow's mouth, switching sides.
yeah, so his mouth shows on whichever side is closer to the camera, so his mouth kind of moves around. Anyway. Since there's a checkpoint at the top, we can give this one more try. And even if he gets a second try, it's like, he didn't quite
Yeah, this is a really hard trick,
Yeah,
honestly.
it's very precise. Basically, you get flung up, and then you do another double jump at the right time, and it flings you forward. And it pretty much takes you all the way to the gold ring at the end.
Am I going to hit the rail? Okay, we're fine.
Wow.
It's okay.
Sometimes you can land that, and you can
All right,
recover it.
I'll go for one last try for the fans. Okay.
This game's got
So close again.
really wonky automation triggers. So this isn't the only time you're going to see us doing something like this out of an automation trigger.
No,
Yeah, there's a couple more.
it's okay. We'll just take down the rail. We'll do it normally.
The launch is really, really cool, though. Just being able to break out of the 2D like that, not something I expected.
Yeah, it's crazy. You can actually finish this level in under 30 seconds in-game time. One thing we didn't talk about, because it doesn't really matter for any percent, but when you use Chaos Control, it pauses the timer, and that matters for the online leaderboards. So there's like unique routing that's different for any percent than it is for the ILs. But it's actually possible to complete this level in under 30 seconds, legitimately, using Chaos Control and that skip. And the online leaderboards don't save times under 30 seconds, as we learned. So you can actually get a time that doesn't save. So I believe the best time, at least on some of the levels, is 30 seconds.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cheated times on there currently. Hopefully those get cleaned up at some point. But
Yeah, I did 8 seconds at some point. I'm sorry. I'm not a cheater, I swear. I just loaded there.
oh yeah, oh you loaded and then like, yeah. So we have a tool, like a practice tool, and he's cheating to practice. But anyway, so that was Royal Canyon 2.
It's fine.
So, normally Sonic Generations, the original one has 3 levels from a particular era and then a boss. This one does like 2 levels from an era and a boss, and then it does 1 level from an era and a boss. But we've got our first boss coming up here pretty soon. First, we got some white space to deal with.
Oh yeah, we actually, so we got some white space stuff, and we got some challenges as well, which we'll see. But currently, so there's some white space platforming to get up on top of this castle. Those pillars that slide out are on a cycle. It's pretty easy to make them, but if you mess up pretty hard, you can miss it. Here, we just unlocked our second power, Doom Blast. So any of these, I don't remember, these alien enemies, basically you can kick them in a direction and then homing attack to them and use that to launch super far. It's pretty cool. You can use it in 2D levels as well. If you like kick in one of those enemies through a bunch of robots, then it kills all of them. We'll actually see that in one of the challenges here. This is 2D, yeah. So we'll see that in one of the challenges, but that's useful for some skips later and all sorts of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's a very fun ability for sure. But yeah, so these are the challenges. Basically, there's some requirements. Some of them require you to do a certain thing. Some of them just require you to get to the goal ring. This one, you just have to get to the goal ring. But like the next one, it'll be kill a certain number of enemies and get to the goal ring. In this case, the main thing is we want to not use this last chaos control, which you're supposed to use there, because you can only run on these missiles during CC. You need to wait for them to extend out far enough that you can actually make it through.
Yeah, these challenges are all going to be relatively pretty quick.
Yeah, they're pretty quick, but they can be brutal because none of them have any checkpoints, and so
Yeah, so dying late into the challenge means that you have to complete the entire challenge up to the point you died again.
yeah, and some of them are like 30 seconds or more. So let's talk about the Doom Blast.
And there's several types of challenges you're going to see. There's like Chaos Control Master, which is like batting around using Chaos Control. There's like this one, which is
Also, real quick, are you going for the loop skip?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you can just skip that loop. If you jump early enough and you maintain enough speed, then the part of the level that pulls you forward to hit the loop never goes off, and so you can just kind of jump right through it. So it's pretty tough to do. I was learning it
Very nice.
a couple weeks ago.
very nice.
Can I jump in with a message for Alpha from one of the community members?
Yeah, go for it.
We had a $25 from The Mimic. What's up, guys? It's your boy, The Mimic. So excited to see, so hyped to see Shadow Generations being shown by Alpha, the Quebec goat, and also hyped to Goob. That is probably going to scream very loudly in the crowd. Chaos Control.
Chaos Control.
Thank you, Mimic.
Yeah, during these challenges, probably a good time for a couple more donations.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We had $25 from Vermilion Cosmos. Had to donate during the Sonic block and especially during the run of the game with the coolest hedgehog around. Good luck to AlphaDolphin.
Shadow is cooler than Sonic. Everyone knows this.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
glad we all finally realized it this year.
Took a while.
A whole year, yeah.
We had $10 from Chompo. Another Sonic game, another dono towards PCF and a great cause. Good luck with the Shadow Gens run, Alpha. You're going to do amazing. And shout-outs to the awesome people on Commentary Couch as well. Barandino Part 2. Hello from Back Couch, again.
So that, what Alpha just did there is duplicate that Chaos Control capsule. If you're holding the button while moving into a capsule, you get a freebie.
Yeah, so essentially, as soon as you hit it, you can activate Chaos Control, but the way that Chaos Control works is pretty much when you kill enemies, most give like 20% of the meter, and they kind of like throw particles towards your meter. And for some reason, the capsules let you activate it immediately, but then it also throws enough particles to refill it. So if you're holding Y when you activate it, then you end up getting 2. And that's useful for more for ILs when you're trying to optimize as many CCs as possible. But there's other cases where stopping time is relevant, or getting the extra CC for the energy reset is useful as well.
Yeah, you couldn't boost off of that entire platform unless you had a Chaos Control up and available to refill it.
Yeah. Oh, this is probably the hardest challenge, I would say. There's this huge skip that we go for. Normally, the requirements on the challenges, so we have to pop 25 of these balloons. Normally, they're very loose and very easy to get, but we skip a bunch of the level by doing that big jump, and we pretty much just barely get it. We end up with like 1 to spare that we can miss. But that jump that he did at the start was very precise. It's very easy to mess up. And then, yeah, you end up running backwards for a bit. But no, he makes it look easy, so. That was actually very well done. These, honestly, both of these 3D Rail Canyon challenges I struggle a lot with. This Ring Collector, there's a bunch of places you can mess up.
There's like 100 different routes that were made, and they're all fast, but everyone does a different one. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Coming up is the Anxiety Barrel that you also saw in Rail Canyon 1. Yeah, there it is. There's a spring behind those barrels, but you can't lock onto it, so you just kind of have to boost into the barrels or slide and kind of hope.
Oh, I have enough rings.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, there was that little trick ring he could grab. It loses a tiny bit of time, but he had enough rings. Sometimes there's like a little bit of variance in terms of how many you get on from like the single rings. Normally I end up with like 94-ish there, but he had enough, so.
And it's good to notice that if you neutral stick on a rail and you boost, you actually get more speed than if you are holding any direction.
Yeah.
Classic.
It comes up more in the 2D levels, especially because it's a little bit easier to keep in mind where you're going. Or like, you don't have to point in a direction. If you're boosting to the right, you're already going right. But it matters in 3D as well. So yeah, usually, if you boost off of a rail, then you just neutral stick and you preserve a lot more speed.
So we're going to be heading into our first boss here. Once again, this boss actually did previously get featured in a Sonic Generations game. And that boss, of course, is the Bio Lizard.
Bio Lizard Gaming.
Bio Lizard.
And, once again, just like in Radical Highway, the 3DS version of Bio Lizard is, of course, very different from this version. This version is very changed and is more suited to Shadow's abilities, whereas the 3DS version is kind of a straight remake of the boss, but in a 3DS way. So it's cool that we got this back in a more like giant HD setting.
Yeah, and interestingly, since it's the first boss, it's actually relatively easy as opposed to like in Sonic Adventure 2. It's pretty difficult.
Oh, and worth mentioning, in Sonic Adventure 2, the strat for this boss is to homing attack up his back like repeatedly.
Also, check out his gills right here. Just for everyone.
They're
to
very
see.
gross.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're very
I had to
gross.
mention
I
that.
love it.
Yeah, good details though.
The
good details.
extremely HD Bio Lizard is great.
Also, the water being yellow is rust for sure. I swear.
Surely.
I mean, he's
Hopefully.
been in like Cannon's Core for like how long? It's gotta be.
No,
rough.
he just like appears when Gerald magically spawns him there.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right,
Yeah.
so now he's got giant arms made of these little pink
Bubbles.
balls. They were also featured in the Sonic Adventure 2 version of this boss, where they were like little homing attackable things.
Which we'll actually see here again. He'll homing attack to get up.
Yeah, this is kind of a remake of what you normally would do in Sonic Adventure 2.
Pretty sure it was only on the last hit, right? Or is it only on the last hit?
The last two.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the very last one is when you're in the air.
Yeah, but interestingly, he's actually building up his chaos control meter, so he can freeze time here, and if time's frozen, he doesn't have to chaos control up. Basically, the explosion will damage the back ball instead. So
Also, you don't die if you go in the water, so Shadow just does backflips.
Good quality of life.
Having a good time, just swimming.
and then here, Bio Lizard gets pretty upset and jumps on the wall, and I don't know how he can cling to walls, but you know,
The power of teamwork.
probably time for like one donation during this cutscene.
Yep.
Sure thing. We had $25 from Yoshizilla. What's up, Alpha? It's your bud Yoshi here, and I'm so excited to see you running again for AGDQ. Even though the year of Shadow is over, it's great to see you running this amazing game. You're such an amazing runner and an amazing friend. You are the man. Wish I could be there to support you in person, but just know that myself and my community are supporting you online and are there in spirit. Much love and hope to meet you one day at a future GDQ. Take care and remember to use the ultimate power.
Shout out to you, Yoshi.
Yeah, we'll actually be using the ultimate power right here to stop this giant energy ball that he throws at us.
Every boss ends with a QTE of some kind.
So he started that super early, but basically he was, kicking the ball and then knocks it back, which weirdly enough doesn't actually do any damage, but at least all these balls with homing attack up to him. Apparently the only way to damage him is to hit the energy.
I'm gonna press A here. It's actually
it
X, but
didn't even show. Yeah, there's a quick time event that you're supposed to press X, but you can actually press the wrong button and it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah, the QTEs in this game are like exceptionally easy.
yeah.
It's the game almost doesn't want you to miss them.
Yeah, they're pretty much just there for fun. Like, they're not really a gameplay mechanic.
So that's kind of the first third of the game done. We've got some more levels we got to go to, including one of my favorites.
Also, a bunch of cutscenes to skip. Something we didn't point out. You can just hold A to skip cutscenes outside a level at least, which is great. I mean, the cutscenes are wonderful, but not when you're playing the game for the 200th time. Also, he skipped a couple extra springs there, skipped a bunch of enemies he's supposed to homing attack.
And a kill plane. There's like kill planes all around the enemies for some reason.
But only before you collect the Doom Surf.
Yeah, they really wanted you to take that intended route, but
It actually just disappears like whenever.
Yep, it just disappears right after.
Okay, so this is the Doom Surf that we've just unlocked, and it's going to be used heavily in this next level. But so Kingdom Valley here is from Sonic 06, of course, and it's a very, very good remake of the level. And one of the things about Shadow's Kingdom Valley in Sonic 06 is that there's a big water section where he uses a hovercraft to go through the water. And basically Doom Surf is their way of remaking that while also giving you like an ability that moves faster than the hovercraft. Shout outs to 06 though, because Labrys here is the best silver player in the world. And I just wanted to shout that out while we were in an 06 level.
Debatable.
this is a different route than...
Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm going, but it's okay. Just messed up the tree.
Okay.
It's all right.
There was a skip he was going for to try and get on top of one of those pillars, but you get to see the eagle here.
Hi, Phil.
Normally we
cool.
don't see very many eagles in this level, but they're really cool. You homing attack and they fly you around and they're great, but...
All right, so here's what I was talking about earlier. We're going to be using Doom Surf pretty extensively. So this is a remake of Shadow's big hovercraft part of the stage.
Yeah, Doom Surf, it's pretty unwieldy to control, but the main thing is when you first touch the water, you can get a burst of, you can use your boost to get a burst of speed, and you can't boost again after that. But if you jump out of the water, basically reset it by crashing into the wall like you did there, you can get another one. The other thing is, as you continue to spin, you can maintain that high speed. If you was to stop spinning, it's kind of like spearing, you would just lose the speed pretty quickly, but... also coming up here, he's going to be going for a little gravity stomp on one of these pillars.
Shout outs to Cryptic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, another cryptic strat. You're supposed to kind of go around and take some jumps and stuff. That saves, I don't know, probably about 2 or 3 seconds. It wasn't as much as I hoped, actually.
Speaking of skips, Alpha just used Doom Blast to shoot a guy up into the air and then followed up by going all the way into the water, and that skips a little like guy that chases you in the water and throw things at you, and skips a visit to our friend the eagle.
Yeah, and this also skips another visit to the eagle, I believe.
Nice, dude. This spot is scary. If you die there, I think it's like 25 seconds.
Yeah,
or
it
something.
resets you all the way back to before that that pillar stomp that he did, because there's another checkpoint that you would hit, but you end up skipping it. One of these skips. Also, he skips another eagle here.
And this is another skip that comes from, not comes from 06, but we do it in 06 as well. We skip that exact thing and we call it Castle Skip. It's fun to see that it's here.
Okay. Almost went through the chaos control gauge there. That would not have been good.
Yeah. Here, yeah, you can just kind of spin through those bombs because it doesn't matter. He'd rather be spinning and the damage doesn't...
Oh.
He might have hit that.
It's okay.
Yeah, you can just take it back up here. It's fine. Damage...
All right, so this
yeah.
part remakes the end of Sonic's Kingdom Valley, which is a Mach speed section, and because we have boost, it's like kind of like a perfect remake, to be honest. This is a really cool part for anybody who knows this section from 06, but it's I love seeing this game so lovingly recreated.
Yeah, so I don't think he's taken any unintentional damage during like normal shadow walking section, but it's very painful. You get knocked to the ground, you get up very slowly. It probably loses like 3 seconds to take damage, but not if you're in the water or as several of the other transformations. So he can just kind of damage boost through stuff in the water.
Yeah. It's also probably the hardest level that's in the game, just execution-wise.
Yeah, that was, yeah, I wasn't even talking about it. That was unbelievably well done. That level's very difficult, so.
Here's another really cool 2D level here. We get to use the Doom Blast a lot for skipping like big portions of this stage. Not big portions, but several portions.
You even get to see some cool stuff. So like these, the kind of like air rails where you hit the green ball and then it activates the rail. Turns out if you kick an enemy into that, it also activates it. So you'll see that a little bit later. It's just kind of like a neat little thing and a little bit of a benefit of actually aiming the enemy.
You can also, fun fact, both in original 06 and in this game, jump into the green balls and they activate the wind rail as well.
So you can aim this right into it and he hits it, so yeah, it activates it, and then it just saves like one homing attack. It's, you know, not much of a time save, but...
But it looks so cool.
Yeah.
Dude, this whole section is my favorite in the game, I think. It's so good.
Shadow just showing off how cool he is. Because everyone knows he's cooler than Sonic.
It helps, for sure.
Is it even a contest?
I mean, I don't think so, but some people seem to think so, so I figured I would just clarify that for everyone. Anyway, going to this building here, there's these pillars that kind of open up, or like Oh, yeah. So you can use that upside down gravity, and if you jump at the right time, you can preserve that like upward momentum and skip a pretty decent sized section there. We'll see that again in one of the challenges later if we can. Also, he's supposed to wait for one of those pillars to come up, but he just dodged it instead if you jump at the right time. Anyway, yeah, so Chaos controls. These pillars are supposed to come down and smush you if you don't CC.
Also,
it didn't even show because he was in it early. Go ahead.
we got something really cool coming up here pretty soon. Kind of similar to that launch you saw in the previous stage, or not previous, the previous 2D stage, Rail Canyon Act 2.
Yeah, it's called Loop Tua.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I said it. I took the risk. It's okay. It's because there's 2 loops and you skip both of them.
So he just kind of jumps into the void here and gets picked up by the auto. Okay. Fortunately, there's a checkpoint right here, so it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
easy to reset.
Automation triggers all over the place. Whoop!
And
Stops.
careful, space time.
Woo!
And you can see it just flips
Goal
over
ring.
3D, and then he lands on the roll ring.
Easy.
144 is insanely solid, by
That
the
was
way.
very good, yeah. That trick's very difficult. So, very well done. Here we get to see our best friend.
Who is it?
Ready?
Big Duck
Let's go!
Very funny
And
choice
Sonic.
for a character to be in Shadow's story.
Yeah. He's just kind of there looking for Froggy. Yes, if you see
Again.
him, then yeah.
Again.
Here we're just going to be doing some white space movement over to Sunset Heights, or as we call it, Sauceless Heights, because it's probably the stage with the least interesting tech, but
Perfect time for
It had a
donations.
lot to work. It didn't have a lot to work with, to be honest.
I mean, they've tried. There's just so many invisible walls.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So this is from Sonic Forces. It is worth mentioning that Shadow did in fact appear in Sonic Forces playably in a DLC called Episode Shadow. And I believe he's in a level that looks like Sunset Heights, but is not named Sunset Heights.
Oops. Okay, I backed it up, but
but now's probably a good time for a few donations.
whoops. Okay.
Absolutely, we had $10 from Colonel Fats. So excited for this run. Let's go AlphaDolphin. $15 from Allie, longtime viewer, longtime donator, and long enough time annoyer of AlphaDolphin in his chat. Sadly, I couldn't think of a silly donation message, so you're gonna get something kind and genuine for once. It's been great watching you and others break and crush this game as much as you have, and it's even greater to see you play this at AGDQ. Anyway, as the kids say, good luck on the run and all that. Money goes to runner's choice.
This cutscene is so cool.
This
Just-
game loves mid-level cutscenes.
I mean, is it worth it though? I mean,
It is really cool.
It's worth it.
It's awesome.
Anyway, yeah, so now we end up in the sewer section, which I believe wasn't in the original. And we see this first time of these enemies that basically throw like shadow clones at you, and they try and attack you. But if you track them all the way down to where there's no more space for them to escape, they hit a wall and you can doom blast them. So we can use it to get up in the shortcut. There's another one here.
Oh. Okay. Rip.
Also, interestingly, these like Black Doom enemies, they refill your chaos meter a lot more than normal. Also, that was a unfortunate time CC had to wait it out for this guy to show up. Because,
Yeah, I needed some boost there, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Things are about to get a little
Radical.
Yeah, you thought we missed Radical Highway with Kingdom Valley. No,
I
we're-
hope you guys missed Radical Highway.
Yeah, we're back. We are so back.
We're never
Unfortunately,
leaving.
this is like the least interesting version of Radical Highway in the game, in my opinion.
Any tube fans? We got a
Yeah.
lot of tubes.
Actually, you
and a
know
lot
what?
of
We're
rails.
back to Sonic Lost World because there's a lot of tubes in this part of Radical Highway.
You telling me Sauceless Heights is a bad Radical Highway section? No way.
Look, guys, it's Sonic Lost World. He's back. It's not the 3DS version, though.
I can't believe people are cheering for SH1.
Oh, of
but-
course, when you know what say that.
This is the one section here with that isn't in a pipe. It's actually pretty cool. There's like a supposedly like shortcut route that goes up to the right, and we do a Doom Blast, but it's actually faster to kind of take the intended route because you can skip the stuff that's supposed to be slowed by just jumping around that building there.
And you thought
And
we
we're
were
back.
done.
No, there's more tubes.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys, I love tubes.
Yeah,
True.
Big fan of tubes, especially of toothpaste.
Probably one of the most important tubes, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I would have to.
Certainly in the top 5 most
Yeah,
important tubes.
yeah, definitely.
Top 5 most important tubes. Okay, what's 4?
You know, I don't know. What is the 4th most important tube?
Does cones count as a tube?
Pipe, like water pipes?
Water
pipes.
pipe.
What
Yeah.
about the tunnels
water
in the
pipes.
Pittsburgh? Do those count as tubes?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Transit tubes.
I think those are less important than toothpaste.
I don't know.
I'm not
Have
sure.
you taken public transit?
I mean,
very important.
I haven't taken it here, so maybe they are that important. Anyway, yeah. So Doom, he's basically talking about how you're collecting power-ups. So every time we hit him, we get like one of those collectible tokens that lets us get power-ups. And Shadow doesn't really understand what it's all about, but
we do.
Black Doom's playing along with us. So yeah, he says all is according to plan because you homing attacked him and got another token. So
I love the pose Shadow hits when the Radical Highway section ends. Like,
Yeah.
who's he doing that for? He's doing that for himself.
He's doing that
because
for you guys.
He knows.
He's flexing. He's just flexing.
He knows how cool he is.
Nothing is gonna beat the Sonic Heroes Rainbow Ring dab though.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah, Shadow does dab in Sonic Heroes. If you don't know this, please look it up.
So this stage is arguably the best 2D stage in the entire game. I think
I really like this one.
everyone loves it.
There's some really cool lock-ons. You get to see Doom Surf in 2D, which I don't think you do anywhere else.
Yeah. Although unfortunately, I actually hate Doom Surf in 2D because you can't change direction for some reason. If you're going to the right, there's like no way to turn around unless you hit a wall or get out of it. Yeah, we've got these robots in the background that are destroying the platforms. There's like a string of bugs that you can take there, but apparently it's faster to not take them. I didn't actually know that. At first we were taking the bugs because as you're zipping along them, it goes really fast, but it kind of stops you and kills all your speed. So yeah,
You'll
there's a few
notice
go ahead.
there's a Death Egg robot in the background. One of the gimmicks of this stage is that they strategically blow up certain platforms that Shadow can be on. So you kind of want to use your Chaos Control sparingly to avoid them. But also you don't want to use Chaos Control if they're going to be spawning, if they're going to be blowing up a platform you need to fall through, because then you'll just have to wait for it.
Yeah, so that was the one place right there that like you really need to wait. But yeah, so he waited out and then took the bugs up to a much more important shortcut. Now we're in the sewers. This is a mechanic where these pipes here in the background, they open up and spew water. And if you're on the platform when they're spitting water, then it'll knock you down to the lower path. So we want to be careful with when we use Chaos Control. Also, a nice loop skip there, although he landed on the wrong part, so it took him backwards.
Yeah.
It happens, but we'll take bugs here to another very important back road, and then we'll take this Chaos Control to skip a bunch more. These Chaos Control paths are so much fun. They feel great to hit. Yeah.
Here we're going to be just spamming the Doom Surf thing, like earlier we did on KV1, because we can preserve a little bit more momentum, and Aurora arriving at the end of the stage right there.
Yeah. We're going to use Chaos Control to stop him from destroying the rest of the platforms, and then take this right to the end. And that was another example of neutral sticking off the rail to preserve a bunch of speed. That was very well done.
So is there anyone here that knows where I'm supposed to go now after this?
I think you go there.
Metal Overlord?
Okay.
I think there's this.
I'll just go around.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a
yeah,
castle there. Oh, there's a loop.
There's a cool loop.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
loop looks
let's
kind of
do the
cool.
loop.
This looks fun to play around with.
Yeah, loops. Oh,
That
whoa.
was cool. Let's do it again.
Yeah, that seemed weird.
That was fun.
I don't know. There's like something. Okay.
Yeah, doing the loop again. Let's go.
Yeah, more loop, more
I
loop,
love
more
loops.
loop.
One more loop.
Oh, okay.
What?
You
Oh,
just kind of
what?
slid there. That
That's
was
not a
weird.
loop. One more loop.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Dude, we're gonna do loops so many times. It's so fun.
I love loops.
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah,
interesting.
that's not a loop.
So once again, automation triggers launching us upwards.
Yeah, so that skips, you're supposed to open a door and then go through, go up, open another door, go out back, take a rail, Doom Blast an enemy, do a wall run, hit a spring, Doom Blast another. It's a whole process.
It's
And, yeah, we just skip all of that.
It's also worth mentioning that the challenge acts do not appear until you go to the boss door at least once. And I didn't know that casually, so I didn't spawn these challenge acts, and I was wandering around for like 30 minutes, and I was like, where are the challenge acts? And it turns out it's because I never went to the boss door first. So go to the boss door first.
Yep.
Don't make my mistake.
And interesting, so we have to get back up there twice. We'll have to do either that skip, or there's another faster way coming from the Kingdom Valley challenges that only becomes available from one of the rails that shows up after we unlock the boss the first time. Basically, it was the rail that he also, yeah, nice skip there.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go down and hit a button, but if you time some jumps and boost and spear at the right time, you can just kind of, it like kind of skids you up and slips over.
Easier than it looks. I tried that myself when I was casually playing, and it turned out to be, I did it like first couple tries. You should try that at home if you can.
Absolutely, it's definitely a trick that's kind of cool to pull out.
Yeah. So here, basically just grabbing some dash rings. There's a pretty set in stone route. We take the minimum possible. A few small things, like he jumped there to cancel his upward height. But yeah, it's pretty much just, it's short and sweet, but it's pretty fun to get the route down and start doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of these collect a certain number of the thing and hit the goal ring missions. Those are like the most common type of mission.
I think I was counting, and there's 5 that require like an additional requirement, and there's 5 that are just get to the end. So like these ones are just get to the end. So this one has a bunch of spinning spikes that we need to avoid. This mission's pretty cool. We actually do like a small reset at the beginning, or not reset, but we take some damage on purpose here because we're on an automated section anyway. We're waiting, so this just lets us pick the rings back up to refill our boost. I guess taking damage doesn't knock the boost out of you, which would be pretty awful. So yeah, you can just pick the rings back up and get boost back.
It's worth mentioning that the boost in this game, you can run out of rings pretty easily if you're not careful.
Yeah, so he's out of
the amount that you're using.
Yeah, he's out of boost here at the end, and that was even with the reset. So.
Yeah, like you only earn boost from rings. You do not earn boost from killing enemies. Some games, it kind of changes in every Sonic game, but in this one you only get it from rings, so that really makes it kind of difficult to maintain boost if you're using it all willy-nilly. So Alpha has to be very careful, very specific.
Yeah, you do get it from using chaos control, which you get inadvertently from killing enemies, but if there's no enemies in the challenge either.
I got sniped.
Yeah.
Ouchie.
This mission is brutal. The other one was called Watch for Spinning Spikes, but this one also has like as many spinning spikes or more. But there's so many, there's like these same
Twice?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna log in.
It's a bit brutal.
I mean, this is the risky method too, because I was trying to get like 3 seconds of time save, but then you end up losing a lot.
Yeah, there's a cycle at the very end of this stage that's on like 3 seconds. So you can get like either a 30 or a 33 or a 36. Alpha's going for like a 30 cycle, I think.
Yeah. This is the 30 cycle, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, nice thing is those water things reset your ability to boost and jump, kind of like if you were to land. So again, he's out of boost because there's only 1 ring at the start. So it matters some more on the mission or on some challenges more than others. But now he's going to head over to Kingdom Valley Challenge. He's actually going to fast travel using the menu.
Yeah, something that's really nice about this game is that every waypoint, like level or challenge that you've already been to, you can just warp straight back to by going in the menu. So you don't got to waste a lot of time running around white space to get where you need to go, as long as there's a waypoint near where you need to go.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, if you're like super locked in, you can click that with the mouse instead. So you pause, the cursor will show up, and it is faster than menuing down to it. But it's just annoying because you're holding a controller and you have to switch to the mouse, and you can't see where your mouse is until you pause. So there's not really a lot of time to figure out where your mouse is and click the button, but it would be faster.
This and the Pillars Challenge for KV is one of my favorite, 2 of my favorite challenges.
That was a huge shortcut he did by jumping off that rail early. There's this big falling section, and he just kind of skipped the whole thing by jumping off and going around.
We do not like skydiving in this game, generally.
Nice.
This is scary. Every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, these challenges. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a quick update. It looks like Vegeta won the poll to go on a date with Sonic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Vegeta.
We also had a $5 donation from Black Doom. Good job, my son. You're doing great with this run. Radical Highway be upon ya.
Thank you, Black Doom.
Radical Highway will be upon us again soon.
See, I don't know if that was a joke donation of somebody calling themselves Black Doom, but there also is a Sonic runner named Black Doom.
Dude, I was wondering that too.
I was like, is it him or is it the real Black Doom?
Shouts to Black Doom either way.
He's the Sonic Rivals runner, which is a random handheld game that existed on the PSP.
Oh, you got it.
That's fine. I had to head back. There we go.
So normally that challenge is pretty easy to get break 25. Right at the end, there's a ton, but he was trying to spin as much as possible to preserve his speed, so it's a bit hard to set up to hit those. So fortunately, well, that challenge is a weird thing where you can't really go backwards while surfing. If you try and turn around, it'll just like stop you at sideways. But at the end, you could boost backwards and use my momentum.
Pillars! The pillars!
So here on the inside, also something we didn't really mention. These challenges are all like part of a stage, but then modified to the like a special challenge. So yeah,
Sega loves doing that.
I think it's really cool. So I'm glad that they do.
Yeah, this is a piece of a very satisfying, very technical platforming.
Oh, and he gets
nice rocket. Nice.
That's a very difficult trick. You can use the button. Basically, if you jump at just the right time, then the upslope of the side of the button will let you like get additional height, and you can skip waiting for the pillars.
Almost.
Yeah, he was trying to use the upside down loop physics to skip up again. It is very difficult, so he missed it by a little bit. Didn't quite have enough height.
If you put skewed gravity in a Sonic game, we will find a way to make a crazy jump out of it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true.
In good gamer fashion.
No matter how small.
It really is like that.
So we have like one more challenge left for the KB section. This was a lot of challenges back to back. I know, it's like 8. But this is at Gunners. This is pretty straightforward. You just want to have 30 robots, and they're all lined up for you for some reason.
It's pretty much impossible to like get to the end of the level and not have enough. You have to kind of try to avoid them.
Yeah, you need to want it, for sure.
Which we do try and avoid, to be fair, because we don't want to destroy any more than we need to. If they're easily in a line, you can just boost right through them. It's no problem. But like all these Doom Blasts, like, yeah, we wouldn't want to Doom Blast that guy because it's slow. Also, jumping at some right times there on that loop lets you
Save a
cover the
little bit of
distance
time.
faster. Yeah,
Like a second.
pretty
or
minor,
so.
but it looks kind of funny.
I think that's all of our challenges for this
Yeah.
portion of the games, which means we can go ahead to the next boss.
Yeah, so here he's going to be going for a different method of getting back up to Metal Overlord, which is only possible on the second visit, because this rail that he's going to be trying to get to only shows up once you unlock the boss. So he's going to homing attack too.
Yo!
This is really hard and inconsistent, so I'm so happy we got it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That was very good.
Shout out
So
to Flying Fox.
you can homing attack to the spring or to the rail, and if you get far enough forward, then you can homing attack to the rail, but you're still headed in that direction, so you manage to avoid the spring, because the spring would just bounce you back. So then if he was to miss that, he would just do the loop skip like he did before. But
So, boss number 2, Metal Overlord. This boss comes from Sonic Heroes. The way we
Again.
fight him has literally nothing to do with his appearance in Sonic Heroes in any way, shape, or form. For some reason, he's in the water now. You know, it's just how it goes. But this song, What I'm Made Of, banger.
Really good
Thanks,
song.
the one good thing about Heroes. Sorry, that was toxic. Anyway, so yeah, basically we're going to be spinning through these rubble in the water. This is kind of what the challenge was.
Get used to spinning rubble into the boss. That's not the only time we're going to be doing it.
Yeah. There's a few other, like some of these ramps you can go up and you can attack him directly, but it is slower because there's like an animation to it. Ideally, we're just going to try and hit as much as possible and knock him into phase 2 as soon as possible, which happens at half HP.
Perfect damage range.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and he's jump spinning here to preserve speed because he's trying to get to far enough forward that he can activate the Chaos Control and get to this Chaos Control beam.
Yep, this lets him attack Metal Overlord for extra damage here.
And it does 1/10 of his health bar, so he had just enough. It looks like he has slightly more, but it's just how it shows. Yeah, the
Is that
second.
the Bio-Lizard noise?
Yes, it is.
It's exactly the same one. Like, actually
That
exactly
is
the
the
same
original
one.
Bio-Lizard noise, and then they didn't give that to the Bio-Lizard in this game, so maybe it's just a fun reference.
Yeah.
So he creates a cyclone, but it really doesn't do anything except make, Alpha is just tapping RB here.
Yeah.
The cyclone does absolutely nothing to hurt Shadow, it just kind of moves us.
But it looks cool.
Right.
It looks cool.
I mean, we're spinning like a Beyblade. It works.
Interestingly, this is a 2D section of a boss, which is the only 2D boss that we have, I believe. And it's only for half the boss, but it's not bad. You basically have to hit these missiles, and for some reason, there's safe missiles and dangerous missiles. I don't really understand like why there's safe missiles, but
They're flashing red.
them.
They're
Yeah.
flashing reds. So,
If you Chaos Control, you can hit the red missiles as well, which you would see on like a slower strat in the first half, but we're saving this Chaos Control. Basically, we don't want to use it. There's actually a section that you're supposed to CC here. He throws his ship, not at us, just somewhere else, and this rubble falls on us. And you're
hopefully
supposed
we get all of them.
You're supposed to Chaos Control and hit them, but
You don't have to.
yeah. He barely got out in the last
That's
one.
Metal
The
Overlord.
last one.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh,
So-
we do have a QTE, but you can press literally any button.
Yeah. So by not Chaos Controlling, there's a special animation where basically Shadow will like spin attack at all of them, and then like time will unpause. He like holds out his hand, and they all fly at him at once. But by not Chaos Controlling, we skip that cutscene. So it's slower for in-game time, but it's faster real time. So. And that was Metal Overlord.
Yeah, we got some Michael Bay action at the very end. A few explosions, and now we're ready for the late game.
Worth noting that Metal Overlord was not a part of the last 2 games that were in this section of the game, which are Kingdom Valley, Sunset Heights. Metal Overlord is a Sonic Heroes boss, which is actually a boss from one of the games remade in the previous section, which was Rail Canyon. But we will see a slightly newer boss, but we won't talk about him yet.
Yeah.
So here we have to unlock the next power-up. It's Doom Morph. Basically turns you into a squid.
Yeah, we're going to play Splatoon.
Yeah. You're a squid now.
Any Splatoon fans? That's a bigger response than I was expecting.
Yeah, me too.
And just on the way, we're going to grab these last 2 arc challenges that we didn't grab earlier. The bosses, you'll need 3 keys, then 3, then 4. And so we got 3 at the start just for the sake of like white space routing. Since we're on the way here anyway, we may as well just do it later.
Oh, so I want to mention, this mission is a remake of a mission from Shadow the Hedgehog in the level Lost Impact, which also took place on the Ark, where you had to kill 30 of what they call artificial chaoses, which are these enemies based on chaos from Sonic Adventure. It is a notorious mission because the level is a massive maze, the artificial chaoses are hard to find, and it takes forever to actually kill them all.
Yeah, they're tanks.
So this is the faster version of that, and it is...
Also, he's doing a quick wall run here to skip a bunch of sections. That part's pretty difficult. It saves like 2 seconds or so, but you can die if you do it, but Dolphin's a professional, so he didn't.
It's worth mentioning that there is no like direct analog to a Shadow the Hedgehog stage in this game, and I mean Shadow the Hedgehog 2005, the game that came out right after Sonic Heroes. There's no level in this game that's directly from there. The Ark has elements of it, and some of the missions have elements of it.
There's BGM of it everywhere.
Yes, the BGM for Westopolis, which is the first level, appears in the Tokyo DLC, but no stage from Shadow the Hedgehog actually genuinely appears in this game, which is very strange to me.
This is the Ark version of the One Ring Challenge, just like we saw in Sunset Heights. Considerably easier since like it's meant to be a little earlier in the game.
Yeah. And you also get the Chaos Control Capsule, which resets your boost. And specifically, since he duped the capsule, he gets 2 resets. So the boost management isn't a concern. If you're playing it casually and you miss that trick ring, if you don't know about it, then you don't end up seeing any of the Chaos Control, and you do run out of boost pretty consistently. So the casual route is pretty rough. Anyway, so now we're going to head up. We're going to use this Doom Morph to get up on top of this building.
We've got our next stage, which is a bit of a controversial choice because it comes from a game Shadow never appeared in, which is Sonic Frontiers. But this level is so much fun that nobody cares. This is Chaos Island.
I mean, he's from the future, so theoretically he could have been there, we just don't know.
Well, if you notice, midway through the stage, there's an eruption, and that's Sonic beating the pinball. So apparently he's on the island when Sonic is busy playing pinball.
That makes sense.
I know more information than I care to admit about the Sonic timeline.
So he barely made it.
Wow.
This is a huge skip you can get there. His distance was a little bit short, but fortunately you can homing attack onto one of the robots to make it in time.
So Doom Morph, the thing about Doom Morph is that you shoot forward at a very high speed, and if you jump out of that boost that you do in Doom Morph, you gain a ton of speed.
Yeah, so Doom Morph has good speed preservation in the air, which Shadow doesn't have. It's almost like if you were spearing constantly. So there's a bunch of sections when we do have it where we'll boost and then just jump and kind of fly through the air with the tentacles in the back just kind of flailing, which is always a fun sight.
Oh, and there are some enemies you kind of even don't notice because it's happening so fast. Some enemies will damage Shadow on contact, and Alpha is quickly Chaos Spearing them to confuse them and then homing attacking them right afterwards. It happens so fast that you don't see it, but it is a bit of tech that's going on.
Also, a huge rail skip here, just skips like a bunch of, there's like a spring that bounces you up. It's very difficult to do that.
I love this part right here for the spectacle of it. So this is what I was talking about earlier.
There's Sonic, right there.
Sonic just beat Pinball.
Let's go, Pinball.
Let's go, Pinball.
Let's go, Pinball.
No, really, let's go. Get out of the pinball.
let's get out.
There's a reason we skip it in the speedrun for Frontiers.
Yeah.
We went out.
The fog that's below doesn't disappear until after Sonic defeats Pinball, so we're here before the boss actually shows up. Anyway, that's useless information. I just wanted to mention it.
Cool boss, though.
Dolphin's moving very quickly. He's actually doing a sidestep here, which is movement we see more in white space, but it has some applications. Basically on long straightaways, if you do a sidestep and manage to adjust your angle correctly, you'll just travel a little bit faster. Here we're doing another Doom Blast.
This level is so cool, man.
It looks amazing. I love doing it.
Awesome.
Oh, I don't have boost. We're gonna take it safe here.
All right, we got to climb the mountain now.
Yeah, so you could jump straight to that boost, but he didn't have his boost because he didn't touch the ground first, so he just took a safe route to reset it.
It's fine. It's like 3 seconds. We got a good backup out there. 2-3 is still very solid
Yeah, that was
for
very
RTA.
good.
Very, very good.
this an okay time for some donations?
Go for it.
Absolutely. We had $25 from Snooze Cruise. The tech on display is amazing, AlphaDolphin. You're the coolest.
He is.
$50 from The Withered Soul. Lost my grandma on my mom's side of the family last year to cancer in early December. It's been great to be part of such a wonderful community. Been a great inspiration to keep going and stay positive. Good luck on the run, Alpha. I'm sure you'll knock it out of the park. And we are at $585,000 raised total for Prevent Cancer Foundation. Keep those donations coming in. We're coming close on $600,000.
All right, you see Dolphin here just kind of making his way through Chaos Island 2, the 2D section. Yeah, I really like this level. It's either my favorite or second favorite 2D, between that and Sunset Heights. But the Doomorph sections are fun.
There's some really cool Doomorph stuff in this stage because we're going to stick to a lot of walls.
A lot of walls and ceilings. Exhibit A.
Yeah, this is there's a lot of one-stage only gimmicks in this game, and one of the gimmicks in this level is these little things that the Doomorph goes through a lot on the wall.
Yeah, and honestly, Doomorph is almost like a one-stage game. I mean, it's Chaos Island 1 and 2, but I've heard a lot of people who played this game casually didn't really like Doomorph very much, and I think the issue was we just didn't get enough time with it, because I really like it's really fun once you kind of learn how it works. So you go very fast, and there's a lot of tech you can do with the balls in the air. You can like swing across them, or you can snap up through them. But they don't really give you enough time. They don't teach you very well. They don't give you enough time to mess with it. And then you have to use it for 2 bosses, and you don't really understand how to use it when you're trying to fight a boss with it. So I wish I got a little more time in levels to cook.
I think what's interesting about this game versus Sonic Generations is that in Sonic Generations, the abilities that you have in that game are optional skills that you equip to Sonic if you feel like it. However, in this game, after nearly every set of levels, Shadow has a new ability to learn, which is very different from Sonic Generations, where you don't learn new abilities really at all. So I think that's kind of cool. It makes the game, the progression of the game, a little more interesting. And we're heading to our next boss here. We've got all the keys we need.
Yeah.
Or at least we need to spawn the final challenges, I mean.
Yeah, so a nice shortcut there, doing that that boost jump off the wall to launch up and then grab the floating Doomorph ball.
Yeah, the speed paths basically give you an automated section. I tried to jump over them, but I had a weird angle, so I was kind of caught up in that, but it was really good execution either way. I'm pretty happy with how
Very small thing. We grabbed that that Doomorph there before fast traveling because that unlocks a shortcut to get back there, which prevents us from having to do that whole section again. We can just basically go from near arc.
Now we get into the Chaos Island challenges.
Which are also really cool.
Yeah, no, these are really neat.
This one can be pretty rough. There's a big jump we're going to go for that skips like the second half. This jump here, we have to avoid this wall and then get out of the way and hum back to that spring.
Nice.
That jump's pretty precise, so he gets it first time because he's a professional.
Professional gamer.
Professional Shadow Man.
This run has been incredible.
Yes.
Honestly, yeah, I'm very happy so far.
You're gaming.
You're gaming, man.
And we've had so much love coming in for you. We had $25 from Don SR. Let's go. I'm so excited for this Shadow Generations run, one of the best Sonic games in recent memory, and the speedrun lives up to that hype. Alpha is absolutely going to kill this run. Good luck, friend.
Shoutouts to Don.
Shoutouts to Don SR.
Don's a Sonic, he's an Sonic all-arounder at this point. Don just recently competed a challenge to run every 3D Sonic game in one sitting. Something that had not really been done before by a lot of our Sonic speedrunners here. And because of that, Don learned every 3D game in the series, and he is the GOAT for that.
It takes a lot of stamina, because every Sonic game is like super fast-paced, and honestly...
They're all a little bit different from each other in ways that are like hard to even describe.
Yeah.
These long multi-game challenges like that, or like the 602, or like all sorts of... That stuff's crazy. I could never do that.
Yeah, I couldn't.
I'm a gamer, but I can't
Shoutouts to
game that
multi-run
long.
gamers. I love multi-runs.
Multi-Marios, like 180 runners. Y'all have my respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, we recently had some activity in the 430 emblem space, which means completing all emblems in Sonic Adventure 1, 2, and Sonic Heroes. And that is quite a feat, to say the least.
Yeah, I think there are...
Shoutouts to Hex speedruns.
Shoutouts to Hex speedruns.
True.
Also a multi-Mario runner.
Anyway, so this is the last challenge here, Gondola Master. We use that gondola to get a wall run and skip a big section, and then we skip some more gondolas, and then we skip some more gondolas. So we're Gondola Master because we don't need any of them.
And then we have to use this gondola to
To get it out of the way,
get off.
skip the gondola.
Clearly.
Yeah.
You got to use the gondola to skip the gondola. Makes sense.
Yeah.
This challenge, by the way, is probably the second hardest one for me, so
Yeah.
getting it first try is good.
Yeah, that went pretty well.
The wall run, he got it first try, but specifically after you get to the top of the wall run, there's a large gap you have to cover, and if you don't clear it quite enough, then you get stuck by this giant wall that gets in the way, and you just have to reset the mission. And here we're going with that shortcut that we unlocked earlier. By grabbing one of the Doom Balls, then it unlocks the other one so we can get to this fence. But as we get started on Mephiles here, it's probably time for like one donation.
I love that guy.
Absolutely. We had $50 from Blitz Hedgie. I'm so hyped for the Shadows run. Best of luck, AlphaDolphin. I had to make sure I donated during Shadow Gens as I've been looking forward to this run, and this donation is also to help support my dad, who is currently fighting cancer. Thank you, all the runners and GDQ crew and volunteers for supporting such a wonderful cause. Thank you for your donation.
So here we are. I was saying earlier that we get a slightly newer boss. This is Mephiles the Dark. He is one of the main villains of Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, and this is a recreation of his final fight in Shadow's story where he's fought in Dusty Desert. Obviously, it is a very different fight than last time, but there are some really cool action set pieces in this battle, and we're going to be using some of the Doom Morph in order to ram him.
Yeah, so here he's getting chip damage. He actually resets. You can only chip him for so long, but he resets it, so he can get some extra damage to speed up the second hit here. You see he's already down to almost half HP, and he phases at half HP as well. So here's going to basically spawn a bunch of clones. They didn't really do anything. You just kind of kill them, and then wait until a Doom Morph ball spawns. It's just time, and then...
More useless Sonic lore in that because Sonic 06 was erased from the timeline, Mephiles technically doesn't exist. So part of his, what he says in this boss fight is that he wants to exist. He wants to come back into the main timeline. And I don't think Shadow remembers him at all. Which is very funny.
Timelines.
I mean, Shadow barely remembers what he's living for. What is his purpose, so...
He remembers after Shadow the Hedgehog 2005.
So
That's
here we're
pretty
going to
true.
see some more Doom Morph stuff. Basically, we're going to go up one of these pillars, and we're going to do a big boost jump to skip those Morph balls and basically jump all the way up to these clones, which we destroy all of them. Now Mephiles is this big giant monster, and...
He damages you later. Not that bad, though.
Again, basically, just grab the
in
Doom Morph. That Chaos Control, we get refilled after each phase, so we can just freeze time here and hit him. And then another cutscene skip. You're supposed to Chaos Control and just kind of hit all these guys. If you Chaos Control too early, then it'll end the fight early, but then we'll get another cutscene. But by Chaos Controlling a little bit later, we get to destroy all of them instead. And that skips like a cutscene where Shadow like freezes time and throws spears at 5 of them at once. It's really cool, but it's slow. So we just get this final cutscene here.
Dude, all of the cutscenes, boss fights are absolutely insane.
Yeah, there's so much fun stuff. They really had a great time envisioning Shadow going nuts.
Yeah.
Badass. Just badass.
Raw.
honestly.
Yeah. So after this fight, we're going to unlock our last power, but there's a couple of cutscenes to skip and stuff. Probably time for like 2 donations.
Yep.
Sure thing. We had $150 from Triumphant Base. Shadow the Hedgehog was created to combat diseases, so it's only fitting to donate to cancer prevention for the Shadow Generations run. Best of luck to the runner, less than 3. We also had $25 from Justin. Love that this game answers important questions, like, what was Shadow doing at Aldi's?
There's probably time for like one more, I'd say.
Sure thing. $100 from Courtney Rail. Love that this game made it into AGDQ. I've seen Sonic 3, the movie, 3 times already, and more Shadow is much appreciated. And the German dub is really great. Good luck, Alpha.
I'm loving the German dub.
Oh, yeah. It's been an experience.
Anyway, so Black Doom returned now that we're fully powered and we have our last upgrade. And of course, that means it's time for Radical Highway. So he turns White Space into Radical Highway. And then we're going to do some platforming to get up to this this like Doom's Eye planet thing and go inside to enter Radical Highway.
Oh, am I stuck here? Shadow? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We're good. We're good.
All right, we've been teased with it a little bit, but this is full Radical Highway. So one thing to mention is that we are not allowed to use Chaos Control and talk about alternate paths, because this level's got a lot of them.
And there's all sorts of weird gravity stuff. You're flipping upside down, sideways, and all that.
Whereas a lot of the stages have taken the form of being like a recreation and celebration of their game. This kind of is a very different beast in terms of, it doesn't really remake a lot of stuff from Radical Highway. It's kind of its own thing.
Yeah. It's got a few like throwbacks on specific like obstacles, but for the most part, it's like a brand new level.
And again, about alternate paths, because of the Doom Wing, ideally we're able to fly a ton through the air.
Yeah.
So there's huge skips we can perform just by having the Doom Wing.
Yeah, and you're seeing this wing tech that I was talking about early, like at the beginning of the run, where basically you spam wing and then immediately boost. But coming up here, there's actually a huge skip. We're going to be using some loops to skip a huge sliding section. So we're going to use the first one to get on top of these buildings, and then we're going to hit the second one by slow walking off. Ooh, that's a bit... Okay, that
There
works.
he goes!
I'm going for it.
He's going for the mega skip, which is even more dangerous than the already risky one. I think it's too low. Might be able to save it with wing tech. Oh, wait. No. Almost.
That was crazy. Though.
Oh, dude, so
that
close.
takes him all the way to the end of the level. That would have been like a 123 or so.
That would have been ridiculous.
It would have been crazy, yeah. So here we're going to go with a slightly safer route, especially because he's out of range, so he has to be careful on the end. This basically skips to a wall run section. So he's actually out of bounds. He has to boost through like an invisible wall.
Uh-oh.
But, yeah. So,
You
All
need
right, one more
rings.
time.
well,
You
he'll
need rings.
probably keep going. The slide section is it's very slow, so we'll give it a couple more tries here if he doesn't get it here. Part of the issue is that on that wall there's some like purple walls that if you hit them they damage you. But since you don't have any rings and there's no rings out of bounds to collect on the way,
Oh, wait. Oh, hello?
You saved
Shadow?
saved
Shadow, okay.
it. Okay. So now you just have to be
Good.
careful. And
Okay, we got rings. We're good.
do you know
We're
where the,
good,
do
we're
you know
safe.
do you know where the backup rings are? They're in the boxes.
They're in the boxes?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's fine. I have a customized route.
Okay, you're just gonna take the
Yeah.
casual route. Okay, that works too.
So
I
yeah,
haven't actually
ideally you
tried
don't want to lose Doom Morph
That's-
because the route kind of is very dependent on it, but Alpha's a pro, he's going to make it through anyway.
Oh, that's not too bad. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically the intended route. If you don't have wings, you do some kind of upside down. Basically, the path takes you up and above and then back down. But yeah, overall a 231, 232.
Even without like first try or second try, this is really good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This is about what you would get if you didn't do that skip at all. I think you can get slightly faster, but somewhere around there. So, and now we're headed back into Radical Highway Act 2, which is the only Act 2 that is in 3D again. So
This-
they really love the Radical Highway. They didn't even give us a 2D. They went all out on the 3D.
This is probably my hardest stage in the run that I've done. It's my most inconsistent one, so I hope we can get it first try. It would be awesome.
Yeah, normally you are supposed to fight these like giant black army things that
They have a ton of health. We'll see one like from above a bit later.
yeah, they spawn tornadoes and they have a lot of health and they're really slow to kill. But once you kill them, you get a Doom Blast to further into the level.
Yeah, but here he's mostly out of bounds, running on these buildings to skip a bunch of stuff.
This is a great example of like storing actions in order to go very far distances because he's saving every bit of Shadow's movement
Nice.
to skip large portions with the spear.
Yeah, and something that hasn't come up yet, because all the wings have been activated automatically. You can only activate wings once you get 50 rings. So he had to basically route certain places to get his rings. And the skip that he was doing on the buildings, there aren't enough rings in that section to get wings before then. So he had to do the whole thing wingless. And if you could get wings there, it would make it a lot easier because your boost would reset. But he had to budget it carefully. But he has it now, and he'll collect enough rings that these wings will last until the end. Kind of unfortunate that rings and wings are so similar in pronunciation. Anyway, so there's like if you rail switch at the right time, you can, since you're upside down, it'll point you upwards, and you can use that to get up here. Basically skips this. If you remember in Radical Highway and SA2, there's like a cylinder with a bunch of springs. That was basically what that was right there, but you can skip that because it's slow. We like skipping slow things. And then once more, there's a well-timed rail switch to kind of skip these loops here and just fly straight to the end.
Yep.
And then this path starts turning, but we're kind of attached. We're in an automated section, so it's fine. We just spear and land on the ring with a 155 is very good.
It's a very good
Great
time.
time.
Yeah.
So-called inconsistent.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we're coming in on the final boss, Devil Doom.
Devil Doom.
So this is the original final boss of Shadow the Hedgehog, and somehow he's returned.
With the lasers and meatballs. We'll see.
Oh, I like to think of them as Cocoa Puffs, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also Cocoa Puffs. Some of
If
them.
they were Cocoa Puffs, they would be on fire.
That's true. That's a Sonic 06 reference.
Yeah, so he's really mad. He basically wants us to serve his will, but we're surfing in the water on the highway. Like there's a flood or something, I'm not really sure.
But like I said when we were in Metal Overlord, get used to throwing rocks at the boss because we're doing it again.
Yeah, this section's a lot like Metal Overload fight. Even with the sections where we go off the jumps and then get to punch his face instead. And at half HP, it'll phase to the second phase, which is a Doom Morph section. But for the most part, yeah. So these ones you have to like jump for. For some reason, they have low and high ones, but probably time for like one more donation.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
The run.
This is like a perfect time for donations.
Sure thing. We had $50 from Blaze the Cat. Had to finish this game when I saw it on the schedule and managed to hit the credits with seconds to go. Excited to see it done much faster. Let's go, Alpha. Show them who the faker really is.
Yes, sir.
So Double Doom brings us into phase 2, and now this is Doom Morph section where we have to basically platform up to him and then punch his face. We can do some really cool Doom Morph launches here. And then,
Oh, yeah. A little bit too low.
yeah, if you
That's
fall,
okay. We're right back where we were.
it just resets you here, fortunately, and there's no lives.
There you go.
So there's like some springs you can homing attack, but if you can jump straight into the trick rings, then it's just faster, which is what he's going to be going for. Each time we damage him, it pushes us back further, so it's a bit more platforming, but it's pretty much the same concept. You boost forward. And this is where the most time save and most skill expression in the level is. Right there, you can actually homing attack straight to his face instead of taking the trick ring. And here we get knocked all the way back to the furthest distance. But
This is reminiscent of a lot of previous Sonic boss fights, like Dark Gaia from Unleashed, where you have to do a lot of platforming before you actually get a chance to attack.
Doom Morph feels finicky on this level in particular, where sometimes you'll boost and jump, but the boost takes even longer to come out than normal.
Yeah.
It seems like it only happens on this fight, and that's what happened there. So he tried to boost then jump, but he just jumped instead.
Now we're not done, as you can imagine.
This is the transformation of all time.
Yeah. So now it's time for real phase 2 of the fight. He just gets more tentacles and longer, and
He's pretty cool, though.
yeah. So all hail Shadow. And now so now we fight this part with wings, and it's a bit of an auto-scroller. Basically, we'll boost through, and there'll be certain times that we can hit him. So probably time for like one donation, I'd say.
Sure thing. We had $50 from E. All hail Shadow.
Yeah, all hail Shadow. So it gives you rings at various times. If you're going very slow, then sometimes it'll matter. But the same deal as Metal Overlord when he was playing that like ping pong with you. You can just kind of spin in the corner, and when you hit him with enough of those like little tentacle things, it'll stun him, and you can run up and beat him up. You can see how much damage one section did. So there's just 3 sections of this, and in between that, it's pretty much boosting. You kind of avoid these platforms or like panels. I don't know if they do damage to you. I don't think I've ever hit one before because they're pretty easy to dodge. Those trick rings, they're kind of hard to hit because the camera's moving around, but if you hit them, they just kind of move you forward a bit. If that hits you, there's a really long cutscene because you're invulnerable during Doom Wings, but it still takes a long time if you're getting kicked around, so it's just a time loss if you get hit. Normally sitting on the side and just spinning repeatedly will hit those almost guaranteed, but there's like a very low chance that you don't actually hit enough and you lose a run to it. Shout out to Savik. His last runs to that.
Yeah.
Also worth mentioning, I guess like normal Sonic final bosses, you're Super Sonic or Super Shadow to fight, but in universe, the Emeralds are actually with Sonic for his portion of Sonic Generations, so that's why we're not Super.
Yeah, Shadow I believe has one currently, but
All right, time is coming up.
Time is coming up
on
very
time.
soon.
There's one quick time event we'll mash, and basically as soon as that ends, we'll be calling time. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The time is pretty good.
yeah, this is an amazing run.
Wow, this is like 2 minutes off my PB, and I mean, yeah, I did not expect to play this well at a marathon, especially not a live one. So right when we're done, it should be done now. Time.
GG.
GG Alpha.
And that is Shadow Generations.
That was a really good run.
That
Wow.
was unbelievable.
All right, great showcase.
Yeah, very well done.
This is so serious still. Even we're done with the game, we beat the boss, and it's still like,
They're still fighting.
yeah. I guess, I don't know how much time we have, but I want to do my shout-outs real quick. I want to give a shout-out to the audio card, my Quebec friends that have been nothing but supportive for me over the years. They're awesome. Shout-outs to the Shadow Generations community, shout-outs to Cryptic Jackknife, Zan's Withered Soul, David, who's there on the couch, Labrys, everyone. And shout-outs for the people that helped me get to Pittsburgh, because I did not know for a long time if I was able to make it here. So shout-outs to Zaz, shout-outs to Kev, shout-outs to Blorid, shout-outs to Natborn Killa, and all my friends. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I just want to say, this game, the speedrun is incredible. I'm not a Sonic runner, I picked it up anyway because it's that fun. So if you're looking for a speed game to play, I would highly recommend it. It's very fun. It's very easy to get into. The game at a base level is pretty easy, so you could beat it and you don't really get stuck on levels, so I would recommend it.
There's also like strats everywhere, super well documented. Everything is super well resourced, so. And we see the punch right there. I wonder how Joom screams in German. Have you guys ever heard that?
No? I guess we'll find out.
Interesting.
Solid scream.
Solid.
There it is. We get the nice cinematic explosion that...
Shoutouts to the Sonic speedrun community.
Hell yeah.
So Alpha, where can we find you?
Yeah, shout yourself out.
Okay, all right. You can find me at the AlphaDolphin on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and Blue Sky, and that's about it for me. What about y'all? What's up?
One
What's
day
up with
a
y'all?
day. Yep.
Everything?
Yep.
Okay. What about you,
Makes
Labrys?
it easy.
Yeah, I too speedrun various three-dimensional Sonic games. If you want to find me at Labrys SR on Twitch, yes,
And
I'm always there.
And Brandino.
I'm Brandino59. I run a lot of games on Nintendo 3DS, including Sonic Generations and Sonic Lost World. And I'm going to continue running games on 3DS, so you can find me at Brandino59 on Blue Sky and Twitch and YouTube.
And well, thank you so much to all three of you for commentating. Y'all have killed it. I haven't needed to place a word at all. Y'all just completely went through the run like it's nothing. Very
Thanks for
impressive.
having us. Yeah, thanks to GDQ for having us.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Glad
And
this game got in. We got
so,
showed off.
do we have any other words left? No?
Let's go Shadow.
Let's go Shadow. So, I mean, keep it going, keep the donations going. Y'all are doing the best I've ever seen. This is awesome. Let's go for 1 million, guys, shall we? We can do it. We can do it.